What's good, y'all? Welcome back to another album review. It has been so long since I've done one of these. If y'all looked at my past videos, those videos were done like earlier this year. So bear with me, but I am getting back to doing album reviews. So cheers, if I even have those as a soundboard. But hey, I'm back. And I am back with something very controversial. Today, if you haven't already read the title, we are going to be reviewing Young Thug, Scuti. This is Young Thug's fourth studio album released September 26, 2025 under YSL Records and Atlantic Records and 300 Entertainment. So without any further ado, let's get into the first song.
Drop top rollers, kicking up no dust, nigga, you ain't know your shit. Big dog right now, fuck they talking about it, bitch, I ain't hitting that bitch. No.
First song we got on here, which is easily the most controversial song on this album, is Ninja. It's very interesting. I'm gonna try to break it down as much as I can, but I feel like this is going to be like hard to really describe. Okay, so when we start off with the production, I feel like the production was actually pretty hard. It had a really good upbeat. The bass was really good. The sound overall kind of give you that like mysterious sound that I think I really enjoyed overall. So the production I'll give a definitely thumbs up. But when we get into the lyrics, that's where it gets a little controversial. I feel like his sound overall was very different. He felt so like aggressive on here. He felt like he had the urge to give like that different personality side, which I really enjoyed. But if we're being honest, ninja is a safe word of saying the other hard R word that many people shouldn't say. I don't even think black people should say it at this point because it doesn't sound very good. And not only that, you do hear that towards the end of the song, so it's not like it's the whole song, but like he says it so like religiously, like it doesn't even sound bad to him or something. So yeah, I'm kind of iffy on this song, I'm not even gonna lie. But I do feel like the beginning part of the song, him going through his whole trial, was obviously very interesting, and then him getting into the song officially was interesting, but the ending part just wasn't really my cup of tea. So I don't necessarily hate the song, but I don't like the song neither. It's just one of those songs where you're just like, man.
My bitch, she bad, she sang Stone Cold. Where your diamonds at? Shit inside your nose, honey.
Next song we got on here is Yuck featuring King Carson. I think this song was cool. Like, I think it could use a little bit of work, but it wasn't too bad. I feel like when we get into the production, the bass is probably the biggest highlight of the production. The sound overall honestly wasn't bad, but it wasn't nothing catchy enough for me to be like, this production is like top tier, if you know what I mean. And then when we get into like the lyrics, I know when it comes to lyrics with Young Thug, it's not nothing to even really like think about too much, but like I don't really mess with the lyrics that much because he's kind of just mumbling half of the time about really nothing, if I'm being honest. And then there's a certain line in the song where he said he's just handsome just like Ken, which I'm like, what? Like, what are you saying right now? So a lot of the lines in this song I feel like are maybe misheard or just misspoken, but it was just very weird. I feel like King Carson as a feature wasn't too bad, but to me it just isn't a song I'm like looking to listen to or invest into listening to at all or add to a playlist. So this song is like okay, it's not the best, but it's not the worst neither.
100 niggas with me like we Fort Nuts. Press the issue, we run through it like a Mack truck. Bitch, I'm the fresh.
Next song we got on here is On the News featuring Cardi B. I honestly think the title alone just gives out both of them needed to be on the song, and I'll tell you why. Obviously, the the biggest controversy thing was obviously Young Thug being on the news during his court dates and, him having to speak out on a lot of things that were very touchy at the time. But not only that, Cardi B has also been on the news and in courthouses dealing with the same thing. So I feel like this is good relation to both of them. So I feel like that's why it's good for the title alone. Getting into the production though, I feel like the production was kind of vibey. I liked the kind of that weary sound with it. The beat type was honestly pretty good. I think the hook was very acceptable as well. And when we get into the lyrics, it's pretty much just explaining what I just explained a little bit earlier, just being on the news and letting him know like you really want to see your face on the news. Like nobody really wants to see that unless it's something good. And I feel like they broke it down as much as they could as far as the storytelling aspect of it. And I can't forget about the feature of Cardi B, of course. I think the feature of Cardi B was honestly decent. She did sound kind of like staticky and kind of like in the background a little bit. I wish I could have heard her voice a little bit closer, but I feel like it was acceptable for the most part. And I feel like this song overall is just a acceptable song to listen to from time to time.
Meeting with my lawyer at the jail tonight. Put me in the room, say they ain't talking right.
Next song we got on here is Catch Me Falling. I think this song was honestly a pretty good vibey song. I do like the production right away. It definitely gives you kind of that melodic, nice guitar sound in the background and a really good upbeat for the most part. I feel like his lyrics were honestly pretty good. It felt like more of kind of that reggae kind of song anyways. I don't think the rap performance was like the biggest highlight. It's mainly just him singing, so it wasn't too bad. Overall, as a song, I mean, I could see myself listening to it a couple more times. It's not like the worst song, but ideally, if I'm trying to listen to more rap, wouldn't be my first pick, but it's not a bad song. I think it's a pretty good song depending on the situation.
Come through, Rick. That's my bitch. We been sneaking. And it's lit.
Next song we got on here is Effin' Told You. Thought this song was okay. I mean, it wasn't crazy. I know a lot of people were going crazy about this song early on, but it's okay, and I guess I'll tell you why. I think the production is honestly, I feel like it's kind of basic. I'm not even gonna lie. I feel like he just threw a beat on there and there's just kind of some ringing of the bell kind of thing. I mean, it's not really nothing I would be like crazy over if I'm being honest. It does remind me of like it being in a video game and it's kind of like that final boss kind of music. It does kind of give you that kind of nostalgic to it. Sorry for the stuttering, but it's not really nothing I'm like gravitating towards. So I just feel like it's okay production overall. When we get into the lyrics and just the sound and the visual, it's not really nothing special. I feel like he takes too much time to spit that next part, and it just feels like kind of just like a offbeat, not offbeat, but just off lyric kind of thing where it just doesn't really connect with me as much. So all in all, this isn't really a song that I find very exciting. It is kind of a boring song overall, but it's a song that if it played in the car, I wouldn't be like, "Oh man, skip this." Like it's at least decent enough to play in the car.
The trunk in the front. Whoop de doo. Today St. Laurent. Whoop de doo. I'm spending 100, but we shot cause it's fun.
Next song we got on here is the infamous Whoop De Doo. Now, Whoop De Doo, if y'all watched like any of his earlier interviews before this album, it was obviously a big trend of him saying Whoop De Doo in the interview. It was very historic, very funny. But when he turned it into a song, that's when I was kind of disappointed. Now, not disappointed in to the point where he shouldn't have made it, but I feel like it could have been done way better, and I'll tell you exactly why. I feel like the production on this particular song was like, yeah, I wanted it to be something a little bit better than what I envisioned it should have been. And The beat type was okay. The sound overall felt like kind of that summertime song, but it just didn't give enough of that energy. And then on top of that, when you get into kind of that beat switch, I just didn't feel like it really helped. I'm not even gonna lie. Like the beat switch was just so random and it felt very like low production. Like it didn't really sound good. I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. And then when we get into the lyrics, I feel like that was also very disappointing because he was using the whoop de doo kind of like for nothing almost, and it just didn't match up to like what he was saying. Like he had the whoop de doo as a hook, but like it just didn't blend into like what he was saying whoop de doo to. So I just feel like it was a wasted like trend that could have been bigger. And if I'm being honest, this could have been the biggest song on his album, but he just didn't use enough of that like wordplay that he could have used within this song. And I just feel like it's kind of just a mid song at the end of the day.
She said she's here.
Next song we got on here is Blaming Jesus for some reason. Listen, I'm not trying to give Young Thug a hard time, but listening to this song, it made me think, okay, what is he really blaming Jesus for? But he said he's blaming Jesus for his face or fate, whatever he said. Which to me, I feel like there's other things to blame other than Jesus on that part, but getting into the context of the song, it didn't really make sense why he was blaming Jesus, if that makes any sense. Like, nothing he was explaining really just like added up to like that's why he's blaming Jesus. It just nothing really made sense at all with the lyrics, so I just wanted to break the lyrics down real quick. But I feel like the production definitely gives me some like Rod Wave kind of vibes. I feel like Rod Wave would have low key killed this beat if I'm being honest, but other than that, I mean, it's really just a song that I'm kind of bypassing in a way, so it's pretty mid if I'm being honest.
I've been crying all day. I see my brother turn red in my face.
Next song we got on here is Sad Spider. I think to me, this is like one of the better songs on this album, and I'll explain why. I feel like from a storytelling aspect, it's definitely really good. Obviously explaining why he's sad is because obviously the girl he was currently with, which I believe was Mariah the scientist. I think he was explaining how she basically cheated on him or got with her ex or something like that, if that makes any sense. And that could hurt anybody's soul, not just men, but any female, any type of like person. So him explaining that through the story or through the song definitely lets you know like why this song is called Sad Spider. And I do feel like the production matched the energy of what he was saying and how he felt in that moment. I feel like it was a very melodic Rod Wave kind of beat type that I feel like again Rod Wave would have killed on. And I feel like if we're talking about pure subject within a particular song, this is probably one of the better ones because he's staying on par with the subject. He's not going out of context. He's not speaking on anything else. He's talking about what really hurt him and what really made him sad. So I feel like this song was pretty good. It ain't a song I would listen to all the time, but I feel like for good storytelling, it's not too bad.
RP to Biggs, RP to Mac, don't believe in death forever, hope they coming back.
Next song we got on here is R.I.P. Big and Mac featuring T.I. Honestly, I'm not even gonna lie, this song wasn't as good as I thought it would be. And I'm gonna tell y'all why. I think the production wasn't too bad. I think it could have had a little more energy if I'm being honest, but I like kind of that different sounds in the background. The beat type was honestly pretty solid overall. But I feel like when we get into the lyrics, I mean, it sounds so boring. Like Young Thug is like so boring and just laid back, and I just don't like that version of Thug. It bores me a lot. And I really thought T.I. was gonna pick up the song a lot, and he just didn't do it for me neither. Like I just didn't really catch like the vibe I wanted from this song, and it just Feels like just another song in the album, to be honest. I think people in the comments were literally glazing way too much on the T.I. feature. I don't even really think it was that good. And then once we get to the end of the song, this man talking about a donkey, and I don't know what he was talking about. Maybe it's a southern thing, but like I was confused. I'm like, dude, what is this man saying? So overall, I don't look forward to listening to this song a second or third time. I'd honestly just pass.
We at the top floor, Miami Beach, and I've been staying out of reach. I'm just stacking up this cheese. Yeah.
Next song we got on here is Invest Into You featuring Mariah the Scientist. I thought this song was honestly a good love song. Let me explain why. I think when it comes to the production, very melodic, very touching, gives you kind of that mood feeling of just that love in the air kind of thing. I really just like the guitar sound in the background. It just had a really good upbeat too. So the production definitely gets a thumbs up for me. And then when we get into the lyrics, again, I love when Young Thug is able to stay on subject and really talk about what he's explaining within this song, talking about investing into you, which means he's obviously describing the girl that he's with, or his wife, his girlfriend, I don't know what it is, but Mariah the Scientist. I think he had very good words to say about her and saying that he would basically buy this for her, spend this on her, just take the time to really invest other than just like spending money pretty much. And then I think Mariah on the hook was very, very good. She has a really good voice. It's my like first time honestly hearing her on a song, so it caught me off guard, but she can sing. She got a really good voice, honestly. So I feel like feature wise, she killed it. I love her on this song. I love both of them on this song equally, but like performance wise was great, production was great, and I feel like subject and context wise was really good as well.
On King Smoke, nigga, pass me dope. Every nigga around me go. Let's go. Everything about me slow. I put a knife.
Next song we got on here is I'm So Dope. To be honest, this is like really one of those throw-in songs that, you dig from the crate and be like, I'll just throw this song on this album just because. The production was very basic, very boring. It was nothing but the bass and just like a small beat type. There was really nothing about the production that impressed me at all. That's why I say this is really just a throw-in song at the end of the day. And then when we get into the lyrics, come on, like this is literally nothing to learn from, nothing to inspire from, nothing to even repeat in your head because it's very basic. Young Thug really ain't spitting nothing. There ain't nothing that's impressive. It's a very boring song at the end of the day. So I'm not gonna lie, probably one of the worst songs on the album. There just isn't enough for me to really talk about within this song because there's not much here. So that's really it.
Me and Broski came from the same boat. We are not beefing, cause we hit the same host. No gay shit, neck for the rainbow. If I hit it, tell the
Next song we got on here is Pardon My Back featuring Lil Baby. Again, another very just boring, basic song that I really didn't enjoy like that, and I'll explain why. I feel like the production was just, again, another basic production where they just added crazy bass and a crazy beat type, and there was some weird violin sound in the background that just wasn't impressive at all. Yeah, I'm pretty much good on the production. And then when we get into the lyrics, I'm just not even gonna lie, like Lil Baby's lyrics just doesn't impress me as much as it did 5, 6 years ago. Like he doesn't really spit anything anymore that's like, dang, that's hard. So I wasn't impressed with his lyrics, and his sound is really genuinely the same. He just never switches it up, and that's the biggest problem I have with Lil Baby. And then Young Thug within this song, was okay, I guess. He didn't really do anything that was too impressive. If I'm being honest, the production overtook anything of what Lil Baby or Young Thug was saying, and I feel like that's the biggest con whenever I'm listening to a song anyway. So this song is very overrated because I don't know how people like genuinely like this song. I just don't care for it.
Shake that ass, mommy. Skip your class, mommy. Come and fuck me, mommy. Come and fuck me. Come and suck me, mommy.
Next song we got on here is Mommy featuring Sexy Red. Easily the worst song, not only on this album, but I would arguably say in 2025. Like, oh man. The reason why this is the worst song, first off, right when I seen Sexy Red as a feature, I automatically assumed this song was going to be terrible. I thought it was going to be cringe. Anything bad, I just thought it was going to be that. First off, the production is such a low production, no effort getting put in. I mean, who is the production of this song? Cuz come on, man. Like, the production sounds low quality. It sounds very outdated, too. Like, it doesn't even sound like nothing made in 2025, if I'm being honest. But if we get into the lyrics, it's even worse. Like, Young Thug saying stuff like mommy and, I mean, it's just so cringe to listen to. I'm just like, what in the world am I, like, what am I listening to? Like, I can't take this song serious at all. And God, let me not forget the Sexy Red feature. Her voice sounded so ashy, dog. I was like, what? I'm like, yo, there's no way. And she started saying some daddy and all that. And I'm like, it don't even sound good when she say it. Like, you know, I'm not even going to break it down like that. But like, dog, I could not stop laughing when I heard this song for the first time. And I will never listen to this song again unless it's jokingly. Like, I'm not confidently playing this song in my ears ever again. So, easily the worst song in 2025.
You weird, big dog, what's going on? Sunny day, and what you got? I'm having motion. Okay, yeah.
Next song we got on here is What Up Jesus featuring YFN Lucci. I'm only laughing because, like, What Up Jesus is, it just feels so random. I don't know why, but this song was honestly okay at best. The production was very, like, low quality. It felt like something that was made, like, 10 years ago when Lucci was just getting started in the game, if I'm being honest. And it does sound like a YFN Lucci kind of beat type anyway, so maybe that's the reason, but like it sounds very outdated. And then when we get into the lyrics, I mean, I don't even feel like, again, Young Thug is even like describing the what up Jesus. Like, what are you saying what up for? Like, what's kind of like the context reason of it? And it's not really explaining anything to me that makes me think, all right, what up Jesus? Like, that makes sense. And then YFN as the feature honestly wasn't bad. I think he's incarcerated right now, or is that how you say it? Well, however you say it, basically. He's in jail, to sum it up like that. But his sound was honestly not that bad. I mean, it was cool, but again, this song is just kind of like, it's like mid. I'm not even gonna lie. So it's just okay. That's really it.
Badass bitch, you come and sit on dick. You talking all that shit. You cross the street, get hit. Go bad on it.
Next song we got on here is Walk Down featuring 21 Savage. As y'all know, Young Thug and 21 Savage hasn't probably been on a song together since like, gosh, 2020, I believe. I might be wrong, but it's been a while since I've heard them on a song. I feel like this is definitely one of the better songs on the album for sure. The beat was definitely hard. It fit both 21 and Young Thug. It just brought kind of that murder music out of it. And I feel like they just blend well within a song in general. I feel like Young Thug's verse was honestly very acceptable, but 21 Savage as a feature, I think he just like killed it. I think he literally was made for this song all the way through from the beginning to the end. So, honestly, a very likable song, and it's been a while since I've said that throughout this album review, so he gets a lot of credit for that.
Hopping new truck, new one, big boy, robbery, pissing on me, shitting on me, also, sorry, over.
Next song we got on here is Pipe Down featuring Travis Scott. Not gonna lie, not the most exciting song on the album, and I thought it would be because obviously Young Thug and Travis Scott, whenever they make a song, it usually be like a really big hit. With this song, not so much. I feel like the production was solid, but it also feels like I heard it before off of a similar song that I'll play real quick. And if y'all are telling me those beat types do not sound the same, then my ears must be damaged because these beat types just be sounding similar and they just be casually trying to change kind of a little bit of the sound and it just doesn't work for me. But I feel like when you get into the lyrics are okay. I feel like Young Thug had a good vibe going on. He was staying on beat for the most part. But I feel like a Travis Scott feature at this point was pointless. It didn't make sense for him to even be on this if he wasn't going to bring more character within this particular song. So, probably one of the more disappointing songs on this album because I really expected more. So, yeah, that's about it.
I'm wiping his nose, wipe it, then wipe it. Again, she wanna get hit with the pipe. She love me cause I cherish sin.
Next song we got on here is Revenge featuring Lil Got It. Got It, I think that's his name, in 1300 Saint. I feel like this song was pretty decent. I feel like the production overall was very hard. I like the really good upbeat. The bass is really tough overall. I feel like I can really get with the production. Like the production is honestly a lot better than I thought it would be, especially listening to it for a second and third time. Getting into the lyrics, I mean, the lyrics are okay. I'm not like the craziest over them. The features really didn't really make up for it in that way. Like I just feel like it was kind of basic picking on features and just throwing it on there wasn't really any better. So overall, I feel like it's a decent song, but if you pay attention to lines and lyrics, you're maybe not gonna really catch on to this song as much. But I feel like their sounds were impressive, but nothing really was appealing to this song that make me want to listen to it again.
Money on money, these millions, you dig? I'm spending this shit on my bitch and my kids. I'm sending the bit, not the beans. This motherfucker pink.
Next song we got on here is Money on Money featuring Future. Another very disappointing song for me because obviously Future and Young Thug on the song, you would think easily gonna be the biggest song within the album, but it just didn't live up to that, and I'll tell you why. I think overall the production is very annoying after a while when you hear that weary, like ongoing sound that kind of happens throughout the song. It's like it's really doesn't help to enjoy the song when that's going on constantly. And then even the beat switch for like Future on this song, it wasn't bad, but like it just wasn't nothing memorable where I'm like, dang, that beat was hard. So to me, the production is just like kind of annoying if I'm being honest. And when we get into the lyrics, it's just not really nothing to pay attention to. Future on this song really didn't matter. Like I just don't feel like this song matters in general. And when you make a long album and you throw in songs like this, it makes me really question your taste in music. And I'm saying that by saying that to Young Thug. So honestly, just another mid song if I'm being honest.
I'm so apprehensive, think I know what's coming. Think I know the difference between this and what I wanted.
Next song we got on here is Dreams Rarely Do Come True featuring Mariah the Scientist. You know, I'm not even gonna lie, the beginning part of the song was kind of questionable in a way. I didn't know if I was really gonna enjoy it throughout the whole song because this is a 6-minute song. But I feel like I took the time to really invest in it and really listening to it from a true sound. and I've learned to really enjoy this song over time. Now, when we get into the production, I feel like the production was honestly very much solid. I feel like the first part of the production definitely gave you kind of that like Kid Cudi kind of sound that I really enjoyed overall. But then when you get into the second beat switch, I mean, the sampling was amazing. The beat type was really good. The piano in the background was a very, very nice touch, and probably the best production I've heard on this album, period. But when you break down the lyrics, Mariah the Scientist being on the singing part, I mean, obviously very good, but rap performance wise from Young Thug was also very, very good. And I honestly can't complain about this song. This is like, to me, the only song I'd probably put on my playlist and listen to over and over and never get tired of it because it does resonate. Like, dreams rarely do come true. And I, I mean, such a great title, and the sampling made it even better.
Got different roles. Oh no, no, that's not that one shit.
The last song we have on this album, which I feel like is very fitting, Miss My Dogs. Obviously, with a title like that, I don't even think I need to really explain, but I'm going to explain it to y'all anyways. Obviously, him missing the people that, he brought up to this world, or he came up with, or he just helped elevate it. He missed those kind of people, and I think he was spilling out a couple names. Like, obviously, he misses Gunna, he misses Rich Homie Quan, which, obviously, due to his untimely demise, him dealing with a lot of stuff, he wasn't able to really get that last word with him in, and they never really bonded at that point ever again. And I feel like this song is just a good representation of just him missing the people that he really connected with the most, that he probably won't be able to connect with anymore. But I feel like getting into the production, it's not the best production, but I feel like from a storytelling aspect, that's something you would probably need to pay attention to more. Now, I will remind y'all, this is like a 7-minute song. It's a very long song, but once you hear how he breaks down why he misses his dogs, I think it's very fitting and very understandable that the man is hurt. Like, he's really not the same, and it shows throughout this album, because for this to be marked as probably one of his worst albums, it definitely shows that he needs his dogs back, and so he can get back motivated to making better music, possibly. But overall, I feel like it's not a bad song, but it's obviously not a song I would listen to that often. And it just shows because it just doesn't give you that sound, that true Young Thug sound that we're all really hoping for. But we have broke down this album song by song. Now we're going to break it down by the 6 credentials that I have for this album. And if y'all don't know the 6 credentials, look back on my other videos or just stay tuned into this video and I'll tell y'all the 6 credentials from here. Hopefully I said that right. The first credential we have is production. The production I wasn't the biggest fan of. I'm not even going to lie. Throughout the song, there was a lot of outdated production, a lot of production that was way too simple for me to really be like, oh, that's hard. It was mainly just bass and beat and barely any sounds in the background. And if there was, it was only maybe out of maybe 5 to like 20 songs. And that to me just isn't enough effort for me to really enjoy the production to the fullest. So if I had to be honest, man, I'm giving the production like a 3. Next one we got is features. Now, if you look at features from a face value, you would think the features are probably a 10 out of 10, right? Performance from the features were not very good. I'm not even going to lie. The only good ones that I would say are acceptable is like maybe 21 Savage, Cardi B, and Mariah the Scientist. Every other feature was so boring and basic that it honestly made me frustrated, because how are one of the bigger features on this album the most disappointing features on the album? Doesn't make any sense to me. But overall, the features I named that were good are amongst the best. But if I had to give it a rating 1 through 10, I'd give it a solid 5, and maybe that's just me being generous. Moving on, we got rap performance. If I'm being honest, I'm not gonna judge Young Thug off of the lyrics because that'll be like shady. I'm not even gonna lie. So I'm not gonna do it from a lyrical standpoint, but I do feel like his performance overall wasn't bad. I just feel like he did it on really basic production, which didn't really elevate his sound any better. And I just didn't really enjoy it as much as any other Young Thug album or therefore mixtape. I feel like this is basically one of his worst performance projects I probably heard in a while. So pretty disappointed in that. If I had to give it a rating 1 through 10, I'd give it like a 2. Next thing we got is context. He had a very hard time staying on context with a lot of these songs, and it irritated me a lot. But some of the songs he did stay on context for, I feel like were really good. But that's really like maybe 3 or 4 songs out of 20, which again is not really saying much. So if I had to rate the context, if I'm being completely honest, I'd give it like a 4. Next up we got is creativity. I will say this about Young Thug. As far as everything else, creativity I cannot really knock him on. He always comes up with something new, something different, something to make us laugh a little off of. I feel like when we talk about production, it's not so creative. When we talk about the different sounds, I feel like that's pretty creative. When we talk about subject matter, it could be creative sometimes. So I feel like in terms of the sound and just everything as a whole, it can be creative at moments. And if I had to give it a 1 through 10 rating, I would give it a good 7. And last but not least, we got album cover. Probably the most controversial thing when it comes to this album. I'm not mad, but I'm also like not happy. It's like it's really tough to like pinpoint this album cover because obviously it's him being white with blue eyes and it makes you think like what was going through Young Thug's head to do this specific album cover. Now, is it the most appealing? I'm not gonna lie. If I walked into a vinyl store and I seen a Young Thug album as white, I would be intrigued to listen to it. I'm not gonna lie, but it feels so basic that I can't give it that high of a rating. So if I had to give it 1 through 10, I'd give it a solid 5. And I don't know if that really even makes sense. But with all that being said, if I'm giving the album rating as a whole, I have to honestly give it like a 2 or something. It really wasn't that good. I think to me it's probably the worst Young Thug album ever. And I don't even know if that's saying much. So I'm definitely just gonna give it a 2. Or did I give it a 3? I can't remember. Whatever I said first. But that will conclude today's video. I hope y'all enjoyed. If y'all did, like, subscribe, and comment down below what other albums y'all want me to do. Also, click the link down in my description for all my social medias. But yeah, I guess I'll catch y'all next time.